Hey all, Tony Bing here, hello and welcome back to another video for Marvel Strike Force. Now today we will be looking at the issue of gold. It's something that's come up fairly frequently on the Reddit. I've seen a few other content creators actually cover the issue of gold as well. I've held off hoping that Fox Next would make some kind of move in regards to it, because without a doubt it is too tight a bottleneck, but nothing has happened. So for this reason I'm going to do a bit of a breakdown and look over various different aspects of it. Now we've got 17 gold orbs to open, so I'm going to open them to get a rough idea how much we're actually getting from them. Then we can work out the conversion of gold to actually pounds or dollars conversion, and then from there we'll look at how much it actually costs to upgrade characters at late game as well. Once we've done that, I'll actually have a look at a great Reddit thread that was created in regards to gold. I believe it's called Why Is Gold, so a little reference there to Infinity War. It's a great write-up and it really does address the problems that we are facing at the moment. But first off, let's open these gold orbs and see how we actually get on. So we have 17 orbs in total here. Now before I actually open them, if we click the little eye symbol up the top right, we can actually see the drop rates here. So you've got the 3 different pillars where the gold can drop, and it's all the same amount. It's a very wide range, and to be honest it's too wide, this range. It's between 30,000 to a million, which is really pretty insane. But if you look, the chance of getting 30,000 is a whopping 65%, 42,000 is 25%, 100,000 is 9%, and then a million gold is only 1%. And I believe I once seen somebody post a screenshot of getting a million gold 3 times, so I hope that person bought a lottery ticket as well. But you can see that the ranges, as mentioned, are just too much difference between 30,000 and 1 million, and the percentages are way off as well. But let's actually open these, and in the end we'll add up and see how much we've managed to get. So we've got 17 of them anyway. There we go. I hate seeing that, I really do. I hate it so much, seeing all those greens. There we go, greens again, 90,000, which is just awful these days. Bit better there, 242,000s. Hopeless again. Fingers crossed I will get an orange. Recently managed to get enough shards for Ultimus, so looking to upgrade him, but very wary Juggernaut is coming out soon as well. But so far it's only greens and blues. Absolutely awful. I've saved all these orbs up as well over some events we've had, so 3 blues there. There's no chance I would ever buy them. Just not worth it at all. So many greens. No purple yet. I actually find with these gold orbs that I actually don't enjoy opening them, even though they are free. They just make me feel frustrated when I'm opening them, and that's never good. Even more so if you were actually paying for them. I can't imagine the levels of frustration then. There's a purple, 100,000 at last. I'm not sure how many I've had to open there in order to get that, and in the grand scheme of things, 100,000 is nothing really. When you slow down a little bit, what I do not want to do, there we go, is actually click on the 450 power cores there. I would not be happy. No million, we only got 100,000 once, so in total from 17 it works out at just over 100,000 each, which is absolutely awful. So 1.78 million. So let's actually go in and break all this down now. So I've got my usual pretty simple math here that I know you all love. So if we look at the breakdown of the gold based on the 17 orbs that we did open there, that gives us an idea of an average of what you should be looking at per orb. We got 1,780,000. That was in 17 orbs. So that works out, if I'm slightly rounding it up, I'm being generous here, to 105,000 per orb. Now each orb costs 450 cores, so for myself in the UK that works out about £6 per orb, which is really pretty hefty. Now if we look at how much it costs to go from level 1 to 70, it's 3.7 million gold, pretty insane. That means you would require, based on the average that I've seen today, 35 gold orbs at £6 a time in order to max out a single character. So if you were looking to get gold, then it would cost £210 for gold for one character. We currently have 82 characters in the game. times that by the amount it would cost to upgrade one, which would mean that if you were to upgrade all your characters, of course you're not going to do this, but I'm just giving it as an example, but it means to upgrade all the current characters in the game and buy gold for them with the average of 105,000 per orb, it would cost you £17,220. Now, when I do see the criticism about the lack of gold in the game coming up, I will on occasion see some players that will say, well, you're not meant to level up the entire roster and it's easy to save gold. Now, that would have been true when the game first came out, when you could level up your Avengers team and they would really get you through every mode, but the game has changed a lot since it first came out and we haven't seen a lot of changes to gold. We've seen some, which has been a slight improvement, but we've not seen enough. Now, if you look at the wide variety of characters you now need, you've got your legendary events that you need at least 5 minimum characters ranked up for that. You have to rank them pretty high in order to beat some of the levels as well, because some of them are really crazy hard. You've got all the other events such as Payday as well, so you're leveling those characters, and then you've got raids where we now have specific nodes that certain characters can only complete as well. The Deadpool raid being a perfect example of that, and actually the Venom raid as well, where you need to have a wide roster. So for that reason, I really don't feel the way of deflecting this problem by saying that, oh, you only need to level so many characters. I don't feel that's valid at all, not with the way the game is actually being shaped. Now, to finish up, I'm going to bring up this Reddit thread. It was by a user, I'm going to try and say their name, Hotorihiro Noise Seeking. That's not at all, but I'm just going to go for that. So if I bring this up now, I'll read through it quickly and I'll give you my observations as I do it, but I'll put a link in the actual description as well, so if you want to drop by, leave an upvote and actually leave your feelings as well, feel free to do that. But it's called I'll Do One Better, Why Is Gold? So firstly, I apologise for the umpteenth post in gold. There's no need for them to apologise because this is a great post. Now, they're mentioning that there are 2 core issues fueling negative perception of gold in the game. You've got the redundancy and the fun factor. Now, the first thing that it covers is where its gold is currently used. So it's used for character recruitment, character training, ability upgrading, star rank ups, gear crafting, main supply store purchases and alliance donations. So that's an absolute ton there. So he's mentioning that, in other words, the list of activities that do not require gold could be shorter. One obvious thing that stands out from the list above is how many of these activities have another resource required in tandem. So for example, character training requires training modules, ability upgrade requires ability materials, gear crafting requires gear components, and star rank ups require character shards. And that part for me is exceptionally important, especially the star rank ups. I remember the first time I actually got enough achievement points to unlock Hulk. Didn't realise how bad he was at the time, was exceptionally excited to get enough shards to unlock him, and then I couldn't unlock him because it required 100,000 gold to actually star him up. It doesn't make any sense to have players farming for days, weeks and even months on end to get enough shards for a character. They finally get enough shards and then they don't have the gold, a completely separate resource, so the character just has to sit there. Now this leads into the next section here, which is all about redundancy. So I'll just read out again what the users mention here and give my thoughts as I do so. So we're already drowning in the sheer ridiculousness amount of things to collect that are necessary to better our rosters. When you double down on what's required to perform any single activity, said activity begins to feel twice as onerous. The addition of gold to the above seems arbitrary, so many big words here, but we know it's another means for Foxnext to earn dollars and gate progress. The thing is, Foxnext could tweak it so that only the above materials are required in such a way that they still earn dollars and gate progress. Simply shift the bottleneck to the secondary items and remove gold altogether from the activities. Now they go on to mention that they could be changed in a way that the progress necessarily wouldn't be any quicker, but you would only have one resource that you need to level, and that would of course get rid of some frustration and it would streamline the game a bit. But I do feel that the resources would have to be streamlined in a way that progress does speed up a little bit because it's simply too slow at the moment. Now this leads us into the last part of the post, which is all about the fun factor. With this next part then, we start off with mentioning a major component of this game is collecting our favourite Marvel characters, and that's exactly what it is, levelling them up, the important part, and seeing them in action as well. Now the longer you play, the stronger your roster becomes, that's good, we came here expecting that. The problem comes however when new characters are released. This is something that as a creator that doesn't have access to the test centre still after 2 months, I'll keep going on about that, and also wants to cover new characters as they come out. I really come across this particular problem. So with this, he's talking about looking at Magneto, for example, that's coming up. So you'll jump through whatever inventive hoops Fox Next has come up with to unlock that character. We've got the Brotherhood event and having to manage to star up all these characters, you recruit them, and then he quite rightly says then what. Now in order to utilise the character you need to perform all of the above activities we've covered in the last section to get them to a point where they're actually usable. Now he mentions as well that you've been playing for a while, a lot of your roster is likely pretty advanced. To get that shiny new character to a point they're viable in any team outside of low level blitz is going to require a ton of gold, and we've seen how expensive gold is in the first section in the video, so therein lies the problem. And they would argue the biggest grievance with gold, we may already have the secondary resources saved up, but without gold they're utterly meaningless, and that ties in perfectly with the example I gave you for Hulk. Now also he mentions that these new characters just sit there perhaps for a month, and where's the fun in that? And he's completely spot on in that there's so many characters that I have leveled up, or characters that I've got enough stars to actually take them to the next level to put them into Dark Dimension, because we require 6 stars, but I simply don't have the gold at all because I'm trying to be cautious in saving gold for upcoming characters. And even though I'm saving it, when the upcoming character comes out, it's still a really tight squeeze there. So this for me was the best thread we actually seen in regards to complaints that have been geared towards the gold in the game, and I hope it's something that Fox Next does actually take on board, because something has to give sooner or later. A lot of players are getting frustrated, and it is possibly the biggest issue that players have with the game at the moment. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the gold issue. Let me know if you're saving up gold, how much you've got, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.